Hey everyone, I want to go over some books today. I'd like to start out by saying, you know, a terrific way to save paper would be to have some literary standards. If a book is making a few logical fallacies out the door, out the gate, then, maybe it shouldn't be in print. It was just a bunch of nonsense. So, speaking of nonsense, I got this book. And by got it, I mean a fellow citizen looking out for me left it on my towing hinge back there. And on the inside cover, it says, for a Class A Movo, whatever that means, okay. I hope you get smarter. So I have this cartoon book that's going to make me smarter with great images. Like, that's supposed to be the moon. Do you see that halo? That's pretty neat. And anyway, I say it has pictures, but I'm lying when I say that. Or I'm incorrect anyway. Because these aren't pictures. These are computer-generated images. And some of these are blatantly cartoons, but even the ones that look more realistic, they are from a computer. Just like telescope images. You go to an observatory, do you know that in the telescope itself there's like 18 filters usually, 18 or 20, before it gets to your eye? So you're thinking you're just looking at it. But truth is, if you look at anything above 80 magnification, it starts getting pretty funky. Like 70s disco funky. So you should check out that on YouTube, P900. Well, anyway, I'm kind of flipping through here because whatever, some guy left me this, and a few years ago I'd probably go and look through it all. And, I'm the type of dude, like, if I was into someone like Carl Sagan, I'd be, like, looking at his work, how he figured out there's, like, gold in the atmosphere of, I forget it was Venus or something, I forget whatever, but, looking at his papers and whatnot. But now I just look at this, and it's like, I see what I'm looking at. And it's saying a bunch of what it is, but it's not really talking about the methodology of it all. The ways they determine all these things. So that's another thing that's kind of like, if you're presenting all this information, then how'd you get it exactly? So that's cool. Oh, this is a funny picture. What's going on here? Talking about star maps and how they're flat, and it's like, you have to do that to make sense of them. Oh, okay, that's interesting. I was talking about neutron stars and stuff. We think these things are uncertain, but we're really not. Check out Pete Dollard. The sun is not what you think. That's a short little video about him just doing technical studies of the sun for years. And what he thinks about it. Launching satellites. I see pictures sometimes of balloons and satellites. Like all this sensing apparatus with a balloon crash or whatever. I don't know. I see those. They could be fake, sure, but I've yet to see any photographs of other satellite crashes. With thousands of them there, you might think so. Okay, now we're talking about the Russian tin cans. I'm not saying like everything's fake, Maybe you can get up there kind of high enough and kind of whiz around a bit, Who knows? But when you look at things like this, like, I don't know. Anyone in Flat Earth crew, say that crew, but who is that? I don't know, so I should avoid such a language. But either way, solar panels and stuff, these things, heating, contracting, talk about shattering in about a day or a few cycles of doing that. So there you go. Space elements and pretty pictures. I mean, that looks pretty cool. Apollo 13. And there's that flag on the moon. And look for the converging shadows and all this stuff. And at the end of the day, I'm just thinking, like, what am I supposed to do with a book that weighs, like, probably 3 pounds? 3.5 pounds, maybe. It's pretty big. Because right now in my life, I'm not making a lot of fires. And it's a bit too rough for toilet paper. So I really don't know what to do with this book. So there you go. That's an ongoing mystery. Hopefully I'll solve it soon. But another book. Here we have Freewill. My brother lent this to me. So I said, okay, I'll look through it. And I concluded that this book is a good practice for finding logical fallacies. And being annoying. Very condescending language in here, actually. Anyway, this is kind of just an exercise for me because I just look at common logical fallacies, look it up, like 20 common logical fallacies, and look at them, and then just start reading something, and then you'll notice, you can't see the text or whatever, but it'll be a little exercise for you. And if it's anything like most books, you'll be able to find a whole lot of logical fallacies. I know that's just scribbles to you, but I'm saying, like, do it yourself and you'll know what you're writing. And you'll feel like, hey, so I do that for 10 pages. What? I pushed it a bit, 15 pages. And at that point, I said, okay, he's still making the same mistakes and he's building upon those mistakes. So I know the rest of that book there is just going to be built on bogus. So again, waste of paper. I'm sorry for this tree right now. So there you go. Waste of print. Some people that, it's not your fault. You can't do anything about that coffee you're drinking. It's predetermined. And your sugary diet and your job and everything else. Forget about using your intelligence and your own logic to decide anything in your life because free will is non-existent. They forgot to say, like, up here, they forgot to put, like, the elite families' names and stuff. I don't know what this guy was doing when he made that book. I guess maybe some people have free will, and then everyone else doesn't. The people higher up, they have the free will, right? That make all these social conditions which structure our lives, and maybe it seems in that structure that we lack a little bit of a free will. But is that because free will doesn't exist, or is that because some injustice has been done? Whatever. So, anyway, I think we could save a whole lot of trees if we just look for logical fallacies and have some standards in literature.